Okay, so this is a drain plug out of it. Hopefully this focuses, but there's definitely a fair bit of metal and sludge on there, so that's not good. As well as this ATF. I'll pour a little bit out. I don't even know if or when that's ever been changed, or if that was even ATF, because that's not red at all, but... What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Piston Up Productions. My name is Jacob. If you're new to this channel, please take a second, like, subscribe, comment, all that shit really helps everything out. If you're returning, welcome back, guys. We're taking back into the BMW today. So after the last video, we obviously had issues with the JB weld in the oil pan, the engine or the crankcase. We've got oil leaks everywhere. We've got a lower rad support that needs to be banged back out. So still lots of stuff to do. I think what I'm going to do is keep digging into this car a little bit more and figure out if there are more issues. If there's problems with the transmission, if there's problems with the differential or suspension or anything else, then my hand might be forced. I might have to get rid of the car or figure something else out. If those things are good, then I talked to a couple people and they just said, seal the engine back up. It's always going to leak. It's a BMW. Get used to it. So that's kind of where I'm at today. I want to drain the transmission fluid, see what it looks like. It seems to be shifting well, but I just, you know what, I might as well just do the fluids. I also want to check the rear diff because I was told it has an LSD in it or a welded diff or something going on. So I want to see how easy that is to access, probably drain that fluid. I do have some leftover gear oil that I can throw in there for the time being. Yeah, that's kind of my plan, is to keep digging into this a bit more. I really want to get into fixing stuff, but obviously that's going to kind of take a back seat until I know if this vehicle's even staying. Anyways, that's what I'm going to be doing today, is draining out some more fluids, taking a look at them and seeing how far along this damage is or how bad this car really is. So far it doesn't seem to be that bad. I think the JB weld will hold in the engine bay considering what it's doing. And yeah, other than that, we'll just see what this car looks like on the inside. Okay, so this is a drain plug out of it. Hopefully this focuses, but there's definitely a fair bit of metal and sludge on there, so that's not good. As well as this ATF. I'll pour a little bit out. I don't even know if or when that's ever been changed, or if that was even ATF, because that's not red at all, but yeah, so I'm not sure. There's definitely a fair bit of metal in there. I'm sure if I clean that off and put that back in, we'll see even more, but well, that's never a good sign, so we'll have to see. Maybe some good fluids will help fix that. All right, so the next thing that we're going to want to check is if this actually has a limited slip diff in it. It's actually really easy to check, and I'll show you how. Now, I don't know if it's welded or not, but if you turn one wheel, and they both turn the same direction, which this one is, making a lot of fun sounds, then you know that those are spinning together, so it is possibly a welded diff, maybe a limited slip. I don't know, but it's definitely doing it. So I think I might try and take all the wheels off and check all the brakes and see what that's like. But at least we know we can do some 6 skids with it when we get to it. Oh, those coils need some serious love. Oh my God. Scary part is this thing's not even, it's slammed, but like these obviously have a lot more to go, so I'll try and lube those up too while I'm in there. So to drain this diff, you normally need a 14mm Allen key. I don't have one. And because everything's pretty much shut down, I can't even get one. So 2 options. One would be to just drain it and hopefully I can fill it later. You can actually still fill it in through the drain, need be. Or I wait, but I'm pretty impatient. So I think I'm just gonna drain it and I'll get a 14mm Allen key eventually. And I'll be able to fill it properly. Worst case Ontario, fill it in from the bottom. Disregard that last message because drain's 14mm too. So guess I'm not draining the diff. Moving on. All right, instead I will take the wheels off, check the brakes and suspension. The smart thing to do would have been to loosen the lug nuts while the car was on the ground, but I didn't do that. So at least with the rear, I can put it in gear, throw the handbrake on, should be able to crack them. Front's a different story, so cross that bridge when we come to it. Might be enlisting the help of one of the children to hold down the brakes while I crack the lug nuts. Okay, disregard that last one too because they've got tuner lug nuts and socket I thought I had doesn't work. So that's fun. Welcome to working on cars, people. The glove box is broken. It might be in the glove box. Maybe I'll try and pry it open. See if I can get in there. So I completely forgot that this thing came with a whole bunch of spare parts. This being one of them. I don't know if that's oil pan gasket. Cool. Alright, well, that solves that problem. Totally forgot that there's all this stuff in here. So most of it's kind of useless, but maybe I'll find something in here that is going to help me with what I'm doing. Anybody needs those header pieces, hit me up. Whole new ECU, all that stuff, but I'll dig through here. Maybe maybe it's in here. Okay, so in here, nothing all that super important. Got a bunch of bushings, so it looks like these could be for subframe. More belts, which is always good. There are some big bushings. Figure out where that'll pour it. I do think I found something that's good. These look like valve cover gaskets. So bushings, spare coil packs, bunch of rubber stuff. My kids are arguing. Bunch of these little end link things. So there is some good stuff in here, but ultimately not what I'm looking for. So figure it out. Put it all back. I'll keep these out though. That'll help me on that journey. Two things I did find were these gaskets, which I'm fairly sure are the... Oh, maybe they're not the inner valve cover gaskets. Does it say what they are? I'm sure I could look that code up. There's two of them now. So I'm not entirely sure what they would be, but I did find an oil pan gasket. But that being said, I talked to a few people and they recommended just RTVing it and getting rid of that metal gasket. So that's, oh, that's clearly not it. Why does this guy even have this? Oil pan gasket. 540i, E34. Okay. Well, I don't know what that is. So, unless that's like another, maybe the windage tray or something like that. So anyways, those gaskets are pretty much useless then. So never mind. The other thing that I found in there were a bunch of wheel bearings, which makes me a little worried. Makes me think that these wheel bearings, you know, are going. It's not like they make noise or anything. So, oh yeah, that's kind of where I'm stuck at right now. Realistically, there's not much else in there. There's a starter. Yeah, it's not a whole hell of a lot. But I'll figure out what I'm going to do next. Maybe I'll just reseal that engine. I don't know. I kind of wanted to... I need to get some oil, so I want to get oil before I reseal that engine. And maybe a new oil filter, but we'll see. Okay, so I kind of thought of something while doing a bit of cleaning in the car. What you can do if you don't have an Allen key is actually use a nut and bolt. So I know it was a 14 millimeter Allen key, 14 millimeter, and this has a 14 millimeter head on it. Therefore, that should fit within that point. What you're going to do is put two nuts on the end, basically create a jam nut because we're going to be turning this to the left. So you want to crank these down onto each other, and then we're going to be turning this inside nut to hopefully crack free the drain plug. So I'm going to try it with the fill plug first. Once again, that way I know I can put stuff back into it, and then I'll do the drain plug afterwards, and hopefully this works out. But if you are missing a Allen key bit that you need, you can use a nut and bolt. Well, two nuts and a bolt. Washer, just there for show. Okay, so got that cracked off, which is nice. So pour just a little bit on the table so you can see. So it actually doesn't look that bad. Obviously this isn't a scientific way. It's not gritty, which is good. I didn't see any like metal filings or anything coming out. Didn't look shiny in the pan. So I think we're going to be all right with the rear diff. Obviously it looks like it could use a bit of a change. So I'm happy to know that at least one moving part in this vehicle is not completely screwed. So I'll probably just let this all drain out. Might even do a quick flush and yeah, see if I can get that. I got the fill hole cracked, fill bolt cracked, but I did not get it completely out yet. So I'll probably work on that next and then go from there. Okay, so now that that's all drained out, I do have 2 liters of 75 140 kicking around. So I'm going to throw that in. I don't have a pressure fill pot thing, but I do have a giant length of hose and a whole bunch of patience. So I'll probably just stand here, squeeze it through that hose, and that'll make it up into that differential. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so I know I said I had time, but I got really No, I just didn't want to do it anymore. What I did is hooked up this little electric air pump to a needle valve there, and then pierced the bottle with it, and then basically pumped it in. And it took, I don't know, took like 30 seconds. Alright guys, I think that's where I'm going to wrap things up today. So I did get the drain plug back into, or sorry, the fill plug back into the rear diff. Had to struggle with it a bit. Turns out that a couple of the bolts weren't in it, so the whole thing was kind of cocked sideways. So I couldn't get the fill plug back in because it was hitting against the little cross member thing. But yeah, that's about it. So not a ton of progress today. I did manage to clean it out. That was kind of off camera. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm stuck at right now until I can get some more parts and some more fluid and stuff like that. I'm pretty much stuck with the point I'm at. I got to get the specific socket for those lug nuts. I do need to get some ATF. I do have some here. But I need to do more reading because I know BMWs are really finicky about that stuff. Need to get engine oil, need to get an oil filter. Once I have that, then I will gasket the pan and everything else. Right now it's just wrapped up in plastic, so it'll be fine. But anyways, just, yeah, not a ton on today, but wanted to peck away at something while it was nice out. So thank you again, guys, for watching everything Pistonhead Productions. Make sure to check out the Pistonhead podcast. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. So thank you again for watching, and we'll catch you next time.